Good evening.
What's going on, everybody? We are experiencing a couple of technical difficulties right now, but our beautiful, wonderful, amazing host, Evangelist Barbara Elsie, is coming back right now. So I'm going to drop back off and I'm going to bring her back on. Hey, friend, what's going on?
I don't know. I'm over here hitting the wrong buttons.
Well, I'm going to drop back out. I'll put it back in your hands.
All right. Good evening, everyone. Listen, that's me with these buttons. I hope Kelly Cage is not on here because she's going to talk about me. But anyway, welcome to Motivational Mondays. I'm Barbara Elsie. I'm so glad that you're here. We have a wonderful broadcast tonight. Stick around. We got some really good stuff tonight. Hey, good evening, guys. Ooh, me and technology, my. But anyway, welcome to Motivational Monday. We have a great setup for you guys tonight. I am so incredibly proud of this show tonight. But before we get started, listen, go ahead and press share. If this is your first time, put in the comments. This is my first time being with you tonight, as well as we are on YouTube Live. Please swing over to YouTube when you get a chance to subscribe and like that page. We want to drive more traffic to these subject matters. Again, thank you all so much for being here with us this evening on Motivational Monday. Our topic tonight is let's talk about mental health. And I got two amazing women again. You know, this is the year of the woman, if you all didn't know, but this is the year of the woman. And I have two amazing women that's going to be coming tonight and speaking to us about mental health. And my first guest, I'm so proud of her, is Jessica Jackson. Jessica Jackson, been watching her ever since she was a little girl. Jessica Jackson in 2016 was diagnosed with bipolar depression, and it changed her life forever, y'all. Her YouTube channel takes us on her journey, and much advice is given on how to live with this diagnosis. Her content is uplifting, is fun, and is motivational. I love what she is doing. Everyone, welcome Jessica Jackson. Woohoo!
Hi, everybody.
Hey,
Hi.
Jessica. I am so glad that you're here. I'm so glad.
I'm glad to be here. It's an honor.
And I'm so glad that what you are doing, you have taken it live on YouTube. It is uplifting. I've been on there. I've been watching you.
Thank you.
Just love the content that you have, and just had to have you here on Motivational Monday so we can dispel some of these myths and stigmas and issues that
yes,
in the Black community. You know what I'm saying? Because we like to hide. We've been taught, to hide things. What's done in the house stays in the house. Things of that sort. We really don't talk about stuff like mental health or being bipolar or depression. And we all have depression at one time or another. Some just have it more deeper than others. I just have to say a shout out to Gerald and Yvette Jackson. Whoop, whoop, whoop.
Those are Mom and Dad.
Those are her parents and your sisters and your brothers. I love all of you guys. All of you. I get so excited when I see all of you guys. You're doing wonderful and just
Thank
cool.
You.
It's how many of you guys? How many is in the family?
It is 12. It's
12 children.
Yes.
Wow. But that's a blessing. That's absolutely a blessing. Every time I see your mom and dad, I always compliment them because all you guys are just phenomenal. You really are.
They're amazing parents. They really are. They're amazing parents. And I wouldn't be where I'm at if it wasn't for them.
Right. Not only are they amazing, you have godly parents,
Yes. And
you have godly parents.
She's an amazing example for me.
Wow.
So I love her to death. Yeah.
I do too. That's my sister. I love it
Yes, she's
too. And I
amazing.
love
She's
Gerald. That's
amazing.
my brother. And I
Yes,
know,
yes.
and when I see all of you guys, I'd be like, like that's my first time seeing you all. And poor Kevin, I'd be like, Kevin,
Yes. Oh my God. I'm so
but
proud of him. I am
yeah,
so proud of him. I'm proud of
yeah,
all of my siblings. We all are like
yeah. Wow.
amazing. I just see God working in all of us. So
Yes, he is, and all of you guys, and that is so wonderful. Well, let's just jump into it. Let's jump into it. I know that you have your channel on being bipolar, and just I want you to talk to us about that, and just kind of, you can feel free to talk here and just lay it out there because, again, like I said, we are, a race of people that we feel if you go see a therapist or a counselor, something is really, really wrong with you. But that's not really, really the case. And that's why we have Lisa Camille Jackson waiting backstage because she's going to come and address that. But just tell me about your journey with your mental health.
well, my journey, it really, like I said, I was diagnosed in 2016. This was right
Mm-hmm.
after I had my last son, Jace.
Mm-hmm.
And when I was diagnosed with bipolar depression type 2, bipolar disorder type 2, I was like, because when you hear like you have a mental illness, sometimes you automatically jump to, oh, you're crazy,
Right.
or something is wrong
Right.
with you, or oh no, you can't have bipolar disorder because you're African American. It's always
Mm-hmm.
a shush shush, in our community about
Exactly.
this subject. So when I was diagnosed and I was prescribed medication. I took it for a little while, but I didn't like the way I felt. I'm like, no, I don't need this. Or,
Mm-hmm.
I was guilty of, oh, I can just pray it away, or just ignore it, and the
Mm-hmm.
situation would go away.
Mm-hmm.
But as time progressed, I started noticing how it was affecting my life.
Okay.
How um I would get these great jobs and I won't stay at them because I'll be in the bed depressed. Or I would try to do my mother duties, but I couldn't get out of bed because I was so depressed. It would literally, this how it feels to me. It felt like a wet blanket was over me. I couldn't get out of
Wow.
bed. I couldn't move. And, I was ashamed to talk about this stuff to my parents, to be honest with you. My parents didn't know about my diagnosis until I told them. I didn't tell anybody about my diagnosis. I was ashamed. I thought that,
Yes, I get
oh,
that.
I'm the second oldest, and I'm crazy, or I'm just this. I just felt like I was the
Mm-hmm.
messed up child, which wasn't true at all. But
Right.
that's what was playing in my head when I was diagnosed. So I couldn't tell them, and then I did finally come out and told them, and they were very,
Mm-hmm.
very, very supportive. My brothers, my sisters, my mom, my dad was very supportive.
Wow.
And I still was trying to ignore it though. I still was like, oh, I can
Mm-hmm.
do this on my own. I can just, eat different, do stuff, not take my medication. But I just saw how not only was it affecting like work or school or anything like that, but I saw how it was affecting my personal life. And
Mm-hmm.
I saw how it was just damaging to a lot of things that I had going on.
Wow.
So
Mm-hmm.
what woke me up and made me like embrace my mental illness and just say that this is who I am, but it's not my title
I
was
love that. I love that, Jessica. I
thank
love
you.
that. You say this is what I have, but this is not who I am.
And yeah, and then it's crazy how sometimes that's how I feel. I felt like bipolar depression disorder type 2 is like literally right here every time I walk down the street, or every time I got upset or irate. I felt
Mhm.
like I took steps back. But what made me realize that this is nothing to be ashamed of,
Right.
I visit my aunts a lot, and
Mhm.
I was over there for one weekend, and I didn't go to church, but I was dropping my aunt off at her church.
Mhm.
And my mom, she called me and she was like, stop what you're doing. And this was the time they were streaming. Our church started streaming. She was
Right.
like, stop what you're doing. I need you to go listen to Bishop daughter, Emily Green, testimony on
Yes.
mental health. And
Yes.
literally, I stopped what I was doing and went to
Mhm.
that. went to
Mm-hmm.
that stream. And when I heard her talk about her, just her testimony, hearing her testimony, hearing how she just was just vulnerable and open and embracing it and just talking about it, it motivated.
Wow.
It
Yes.
motivated me like, you know what? I can speak on this, you know? Seeing her up there be so strong and vulnerable, it just made me want to just open up and be and do the same thing. I'm like, this
Mm-hmm.
is what I have, and I could be a light to somebody, you know, I could be a light. And, you know, and me realizing that it didn't happen overnight though, you know, it was still some minor
Mm-hmm.
little hiccups.
Yeah.
And it was just it was an eye opener for me that day. It really
You
was.
know, I'm loving what you're saying, especially when you mention embracing who you are, and you know that right there is a challenge for us to really embrace who we are, you know, and things of that sort, and also that level of shame, you know, of coming out, and that level of shame to say this is what I have, you know. So let me see, how do I manage this, you know, and I can understand that shame, you know, but I think it is so brave what you're doing, and also to create a YouTube channel to share your story. This is the way I feel today, and things of that sort. To just really put it out there. That's half the battle right there. Because see, once you put something in the atmosphere, the enemy can't beat you down with it anymore because you're putting it out there. So I love that you are embracing who you are. And then you also have very supportive parents.
Oh,
That's a,
absolutely.
you
And
know,
it
and
was
your sisters and brothers are very supportive, you know.
absolutely, absolutely. And my mom, I was talking to her the other day. I always just listen to her. She's so that's my heart. She
Uh-huh.
we was talking about, my videos, and she said every time you do a video, right after it, pray. And I'm like, why, mom? She said, because you're putting content out. You're putting
Right.
something that somebody needs to hear out there. And the
Right.
devil sees and he hears that. And he's going to
Yes.
try to attack you. So you need to be filled. You need to be refilled back up. And when she told me that, I was like, I've been doing it ever since. And it's just like, I'm so happy to have that support because it's
Mm-hmm.
not easy. A lot of people don't have that support at all. So
Yes.
it's very important. My family, I'm really big on family, and I'm really big on, my brothers and sisters. I love them to death. And I think that's what pushed me to, also make that channel.
To make
Um,
that challenge.
yes.
And here's something else too, especially in the church, you know, we'll have some type of ailment or something. We think we can just pray it away without addition. And we hear Bishop Smith talk about this all the time. Take your medicine. He would say that, you know, take your medicine, because we have this thing, you know, I just pray about it. You know, I pray about it, or like you say, I'll change my diet, or I'll do something other than taking that medicine. Because see, once you take that medicine, you are acknowledging I have this problem. And I think that's why you don't want to take the medicine, because you don't want to acknowledge
Absolutely.
the problem, you know. So, and
Absolutely.
that's really crossing that line, like, okay, I'm taking this medicine now. I must really have what they say. But that's one of the things that in church we need to break. That if you need to take your medicine, take your
Take
medicine,
it.
you know,
Take it.
take your medicine. Wow.
Yes. And it's been like I said, every day is I take, my mental illness one day at a time. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I have my good days. I
Mm-hmm.
have my bad days. What I'm learning, and I'm still learning because every day you learn and you grow, that like I said, it doesn't define me. And I'm learning how to get up and think positive when I do have those feelings, or because that mental illness is it's not nothing to play with. It really isn't. And I also made that channel too because I didn't see a lot of women of color. I didn't see a lot of African American women on YouTube because I'm researching. I'm trying to find like,
Okay.
okay, am I the only person, or you know what I mean? And
Mm-hmm.
I'm researching. I'm
Good
like,
for you.
I don't see a lot of, I don't see a lot of women that look like me talking about
Right.
it. So I
right.
just like, you know what? Let me, put it out there. Let me, get, just go, just do it. And I did it. I just stopped delaying it, and I'm getting a lot of positive feedback. And like I said, I appreciate you for this opportunity. I
Hmm.
appreciate you for this platform because it really means a lot because it's very
I,
important.
I think that you are very strong. You know, I think you're very strong. I really do. I am just so, you have no idea how I'm so touched by this, because I may not have bipolar, but everybody has something, right?
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
sometimes we are ashamed of what some things that we don't want people to know about. You
Oh, oh,
and for you to just step out there, my best friend, I'm gonna be transparent. My best friend is the only one for years who knew that I couldn't barely hear.
really?
That no one knew that I could barely hear. I can hear, but not as strongly as other people. And so people say, you all are always together. And we are, because we're best friends. But I had to rely on her to say, what did they say? To tell me what people said.
Mm,
No one knew that, because I was ashamed to face that. Really, and I just really faced that about 2 weeks ago when I went and got some hearing aids.
Sister Elsie, I never knew that, and we
Yeah,
pray with you all the time.
all the time, all the time.
We pray with you all the
No
time.
one, see, no one knew that. No one knew that about me. And so I'm speaking about sometimes the shame that you have. And I was kind of shamed because I knew I had to purchase these. And so this year, for me being the year of growth, I said, I'm
Mm,
my comfort zone. This is the year of growth for me. And so some things that I need to do. And that was one of the things that I needed to do and to confront. So for years, Jessica, I had people to say, she doesn't speak to people. She acts so funny. When you speak, she doesn't say anything. And the thing about it was, I didn't hear them.
right.
I didn't even hear them.
Wow.
If they was in front of me, I can hear them.
Mhm.
And if people would pay me attention when they talking to me, I would be looking directly at their mouth, and I would be putting the words together, right?
Oh my God.
But if they spoke from me from behind in a normal soft voice, I didn't hear them. So for years, I wore the label of, she's funny acting. She doesn't even speak when you speak to her. But really, I didn't hear them. I didn't hear them. So what am I saying? I went and got me some hearing aids. And so I wear them now. So now I can hear. But it took me a while because of the shame. I didn't want to acknowledge that I needed them.
Right.
But this is the year of growth, and I'm embracing everything about me. And before
Everything.
you had an opinion about me, God had a purpose. How about that? So
I
that's
know that's
that today,
it.
that God has a purpose for me, and I don't care anything about people's opinions anymore.
Ooh,
So, so that's why I'm so moved by what you're doing.
that's the train I'm on right now. Honestly, I'm
Yeah.
at the year right now. Like I would, and I know this is, I know this is really corny, and I'm very corny, Sister Elsie. I'm sorry, but like I said, I'll be 33 in July, and you know, I just feel like I don't know, like it seemed like a lot of wisdom came to me at 33. And I know
uh,
this sounds corny, but I know,
no,
Jesus,
yes.
died at 33. And it's like,
Uh,
well, maybe that's a sign or something because I've just embraced me and like I don't care what
yeah.
nobody thinks anymore. Like I'm me. I'm corny Jessica. I have a
Yeah.
huge family.
Yeah.
I
Whatever is whatever, right?
yes,
Whatever is
whatever is
whatever. Who
whatever. Because
cares? Who
yes,
cares?
exactly. Because one thing, I love that our parents brought us up in the church.
Mm-hmm.
Because even though we're not perfect, I'm not saying we're
Right.
perfect. We're not perfect. Nobody's perfect. And
Nobody's
yeah,
perfect. That's right.
we may strayed and we may, done our own things, but we always come back.
Mm-hmm.
And we always have that ear. God always is in my ear. When I tell you
I believe
every
it.
time,
I
he's
believe it.
like,
I
but
believe it.
you
Because
know,
see, because once you come to know God in a personal way, you can stray, you can do what you want to do, what you think you can do, and God will bring you right back in, because He's not going to let you go. He said, no man can pluck you out of His hand. Nobody nobody can take you from him. You can jump, but you will jump back, as Bishop Hunt said. If you jumped out, jump back. But God is He's always going to be there, always. And your mom and your dad has put such a strong foundation in you guys that it is what it is.
Very, very
Yeah,
strong.
it
Very
is what it
strong.
is. Tell me this. So you got over the shame and you begin to take the medicine. What about your children? What about the interaction with them?
Um, that was another touchy subject for me
Hmm.
because I'm gonna be transparent here. I'm gonna be very
Sure.
transparent. Me not on my medication is not a pretty sight. I
Okay.
can say I can say that now openly, and I'm
Okay.
comfortable with you, so I'm gonna say that to you.
Hmm.
I saw how that affected them. I saw how my
Wow.
manic highs and my manic lows affected them. I was reckless. I'm gonna admit that to you. It was a lot of things that I was doing that I wasn't proud of because I was
Hmm.
trying to. I don't know what I don't know what I was trying. I guess avoid. I guess,
Hmm.
but it was so much I was just out here doing, and I was just destroying myself. But not only was I destroying myself, I saw how it was affecting my children, and I was like, oh no, no, no.
Wow.
Um, I'm their protector. I'm mother. I'm mom. They
Yes.
supposed to look at me as a safe place. And how I'm out here acting, that's not safe, not for me and not for them. So that was another reason why I wanted to get it together. I had to sit them
Hmm.
down and explain to them that, mommy has a mental illness. My oldest, he's 12. I have a daughter. She's her name is Shamaya. She's 11. She has autism. So
Okay.
so I did explain it to my oldest son, what was going on with me. He just said, mommy, I love you he's just a sweet kid.
Yeah.
So I saw how I was expecting him, and I wanted to sit him down and let him know what was going on with me because I feel like that you do need to have that open because my mom and dad was always open with us.
Hmm.
So oh my God, I love my mom. She just taught me how to be a great mother. So
Yeah.
I had that open, communication with him and let him know what was going on. And
Hmm.
even though he doesn't understand everything, he understands some. So,
Okay.
I just let them know what was going on with mom. And I tried to do my best. I tried to do my best, take it one day at a time, not to let it affect their lives like it was affecting mine.
Let me ask you, Jessica, what would you say? What advice would you give to someone who can identify with what you're saying tonight, but they haven't taken that step, to just really, like you said, embrace it, take the step of going to get your medicine. And then that's another hurdle to jump over to actually take the medicine, because like we said before, that's an acknowledgement that I do have this condition. What words of encouragement would you give to them?
That it's not easy. I know it's not easy and it's easier said than done, but you have to be honest with yourself. Because if you're not honest with nobody else at night, when you go to sleep, when you lay down, it's just you, it's you
Yeah.
and your mind and your thoughts. You have to be honest with yourself and you have to do what's best for you. I don't care who's watching. I don't care what anybody says. Like I said, I know it's easier said than done because sometimes words do hurt. Other people opinions do matter, but at the end of the day, it's you. It's you. You're going to be standing in front of God being judged at judgment day. It's
Hmm.
not the other person. So you
Hmm.
have to be honest and real with yourself. You have to be open and honest because it's like you want to be a better you. You want to be a better version of you.
Yep. Yep.
And I know it's hard to embrace something, and I know it's hard to like take your medication. I know all of this because I deal with it every day. I
Hmm.
deal with it every day, but I know it's for my good. I
Right.
know that God didn't do this like as a mistake. You know, it's a purpose. It's a purpose
Hmm.
here. You know what I mean? And I
Yes, it
just want
is.
to live that out to the best of my ability to please Him and to just to do His will. And like I said, it's one day at a time, but you have to embrace you. You have to be open, honest with you. It's
Wow.
all about you, a better you, better you.
Yes. Yeah, and I agree with that. It is all about you. You say you have to embrace you. I say for me, this is the year of growth.
Yes,
If
yes.
I want to grow, that means that guess what? I got to get out of my own way.
Mm,
Right? I
yes,
gotta get,
yes.
if I want to grow, if I really want to grow, because we can say that, oh, new levels, new seasons. No, if I really want to grow, I got to get out of my own way. Which means, sometimes you got to leave your emotions behind, right? You got to leave what you think. You got to get out of the way. Get
Mm, mm,
of your way if you want to grow. You got to get out of the way. And then when you couple it with prayer and say, God, show me, and you sincerely mean that thing, God, show me. He do that. He will show it to you. Now, the next thing is you have to be obedient and submissive to do what God's told you to do. But this is the year of growth for me. So I have some things that I need to do. And you know what? By the grace of God, I'm checking them off. I'm
mm.
even to my chagrin. You see, even to my own feelings hurt or what, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I got to grow. I got to take off, come out of the shell of that Barbara and move to the next Barbara.
That sounds
Me
so
to do
beautiful.
that. In order to do that, I got to get out of my way. I got to get out of the way. So that's where I'm at, out of the way. It doesn't matter to me anymore. If I need to say sorry, if whatever it is, whatever it takes, you see,
Yes,
I just
yes,
want, in essence, I want to keep an open communication with me and God. Period.
yes, yes.
This
The
is the year,
authentic
the year
you.
of growth. Mm-hmm.
Yes, the authentic you. And I prayed this prayer to God. It was a while ago, but it seems like this year, last year and this year, oh,
Mm-hmm.
he's been doing it. I prayed this prayer. I asked him, I said, God, it's a lot of things that I don't see. You know, I said, take the blindfold off,
Yeah.
and just open my eyes to things that I'm naive to, or things that I just can't see. You know what I mean? Like I
Mm-hmm.
told him that, and when I did, he did it, and he did in a lot of ways that I was
Yeah.
like, oh, really? Like, ugh.
Yeah.
But
He
I
will
know
do it.
I
Yeah.
need it. Yes, I know I
It-
need it. Obviously, if he did it, it needed to be done. It automatically needed to be done, and it
yeah.
needs to be removed, and for me to grow. And I feel like
Exactly.
this year is all about growth, like you said. I don't know what it is about. I text my
Yeah.
brother Kevin. I
Mm-hmm.
had text him. I said, I don't know what's going on, but I'm being awakened.
It is.
I'm being awakened, and it's scary, but I love it and I'm embracing it at the same time.
Wow.
So
That's
you're right.
That's awesome. That's where it begins. Being honest with yourself. That's where it begins. I mean, taking an honest look at you, at yourself. Really, not no blinders, no
A
nothing. Just
long car look.
a long hard look, and then just being naked before God and say, God, show me the real me, and He would do that. And then it's up to us to obey Him. And a word that He gave me years ago, He spoke this to my spirit. He said, Barbara, obedience to God will advance your life. And
Mm,
it does. My obedience to God, it is advancing my life. And I praise God for that. Listen, don't go anywhere. I'm so glad you're here. You are amazing. You are amazing. I'm so godly proud of you.
thank you so much. That means
Sitting
so
here
much
trying
to
to hold
me.
back tears. I'm
I am
so,
too. I am
so, yeah.
too.
I'm so godly proud of you, because when a person wakes up and they can share, see, you can tell when you have awakened up out of that sleep, you woke, you can share that transparency, right? And if I'm telling you my story, who you gonna tell? You know what I'm saying? Because I told you. That's my,
Thank you.
I told you, so what you talking about,
You already know.
hello. So, so that long, hard look and being transparent and then embracing where you are in your life and then say, hey, I need to grow here. I need to grow here, 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 and here, and start growing. Even to if you have to start moving things and people around. All right.
Ooh,
That's a whole nother thing.
ooh.
That's a whole nother thing.
That's
Moving them
what's
out of the way.
happening. It's happening, and I
Yeah.
see it. I'm like, okay, God, this person, this too. Okay, well,
Yeah. Yeah. And it's okay. It's all right. Like TDJ says, okay, just breathe. Just breathe. But I got to move you over here. Just breathe. You go over there. That's all right. Listen, I have enjoyed you. Stick around. You're coming back, and we're going to share some more. Okay.
Okay,
All
I'll be
right.
here.
Thank you, Miss Jessica
No
Jackson.
problem. Thank you so much.
Love it, love it. You're so welcome. Listen, this is amazing. I just really I love the transparency. I love the honesty. If we're going to grow in God, we must become transparent and get out of our own way. Get out of your way. Get out of your way. If you was doing a good job, you wouldn't need God. Oh, that rhymed. If you was doing a good job, you wouldn't need God. But anyway, we need him because we want to go higher in him. We want to become more effective. We want to have the fire God in our lives. And if you're lacking fire as a Christian, you need to go back to the fire giver and get on fire again. I believe in fire. No lukewarm over here. We can't serve God being lukewarm because there's work. We got work to do. We must work wise day because night is coming and none of us going to be able to work. Hey, I hope you guys enjoyed Jessica. I'm going to bring her back. But at this time, I'm going to bring on another amazing woman. Just truly a blessing. She has been a blessing to me. And wow, I hear Bishop Smith said all the time, people, they don't know, you can say what you want to say, but until you show them that you care, it doesn't mean anything. And so I have found that in this woman and just her knowledge. So I just want to introduce to you all Lisa Camille Jackson. Lisa Camille Jackson has a consulting services, coaching, and counseling. She just started a new business too called Loyalties, Etc. It's a LLC for t-shirts and other items that you can get from her. Everyone, I want you to meet Miss Lisa Camille Jackson. Woo-hoo! Hey,
Hey,
Lisa,
girl.
how are
What's
you?
going on?
Woo-wee! That Jessica Jackson almost took me out just then.
Let me tell you. I just want to say that Jessica was absolutely awesome. She was awesome. The transparency I loved, and I was sitting here taking notes while you guys were talking. The one thing that you said about once you start taking that medicine, you actually acknowledge that you have the ailment, which is
Yes,
why a lot of people don't seek mental health counseling because they don't want to acknowledge that.
they don't want to acknowledge it. They don't want
Yep.
to. I thought that was so brave of her.
Yes.
It stuck out to me that she said she acknowledged it, she embraced it, and then she did something about it. Those right there are major hurdles. You get the
Yes.
diagnosis, and then you acknowledge and you say, but this is what it is. I got to change my life. And she said something that was so powerful. She said, as a mother, she's supposed to be safe, for her children. So if you're not doing it for
Exactly.
you, do it for your children. That
Do it
was,
for your kids.
yeah, do it for your kids. That was powerful. Well, Miss Lisa, I tell you, wow, that was outstanding. And I know that
It was.
that you have gone to school for this, for counseling, and you can correct me. You've gone to school for
I
counseling,
did.
and also again, that's a stigma in the Black community. We don't want to go to counseling. We don't want to get counseling. We don't want to go to therapists because I want people to think I'm crazy. That I am crazy. But it is something that we most definitely need. We need that. And as we said when we was talking, sometimes you just need to go and just sit down and talk with them. So I just want to digress a little bit and just ask you, Lisa, what made you go into the field? What inspired you to go into the field of counseling?
Well, a lot of people don't know. Some people do know that I am a survivor of domestic violence. I was in a very abusive domestic violence marriage, and it was really serious. It was bad. But that is what sparked me to go into counseling to try to understand the thinking behind abuse. And then it led to, mental health counseling. And so I went to grad school and studied about counseling and got my papers in mental health counseling. And
Okay.
and it was just, on from there. Then I started studying about being an advocate for domestic violence, people that have gone through domestic violence. But
Mm-hmm.
it's really all the same thing because their mental health is just as important. It's just as important. Some of them have the mental scars and the physical scars,
Oh
but
my God.
the mental scars, people that have mental health issues, maybe
Mm-hmm.
it's not physical, but it's still a scar
It's
nonetheless.
it's
It's
still
just
a scar.
yes, it's an invisible scar.
Right.
So when people are thinking about mental health, everything that we do involves our mental health. It
Mm-hmm.
affects everything we do. It affects everything the way you act, the way you think,
Mm-hmm.
everything about you is dependent upon your mental health. So if your mental health has some things that need to be adjusted, why not go see a therapist?
Right. Exactly. But for so long, as we mentioned before, that that's that stigma. Especially in African American culture. That if we go, and we've heard Bishop Smith talk about, that number one, he says, take your medicine, and he would say that, and he was serious, but the way he was saying, we would all kind of laugh, but it's true. And then also, just going to a therapist, it's that stigma of that you crazy, they crazy, they go see a counselor and stuff like that. But that's not necessarily so. And in these days and time, there's so much stress now, especially with the COVID coming and the shelter in place, and not seeing your relatives, and then relatives dying alone. And even with our president, all of this unrest that's in the land, and the violence and the murders, and all of that is like a wear and tear on all of us. I was just watching the news, and three black men on there. You had George Floyd. Then you had the other young man that just got murdered in Minnesota.
Dante, yes.
Yeah, Dante. And then you got the other lieutenant, wouldn't get out his car, and they spraying pepper spray. That affects us in the Black community.
Yes,
That
it does.
affects us. And I'm sitting there, and my heart was heavy because, these Black men that's going through, I have a Black son, you see? And all of that is stressful to us, So it's not that you're crazy. Sometimes you just need an outlet. So I just want to ask you, Lisa, in terms of that, um, in terms of the mental health in the Black community, I just wanted you to expound on that. We see a lot of it. I know some years ago they closed a lot of the mental health facilities, and so we just see people just wandering around because really no place to go and things of that sort. I just want you to just speak freely on mental health.
So one thing I want to say about mental health, as far as the African American community is concerned, a lot of times, yes, people are afraid to,
Mhm.
basically it's fear of the unknown, and all those things that you guys mentioned earlier about fear of what people would say and how people would think. But one of the things that people don't think about, one of the reasons why African Americans won't go to counseling is because of the diversity of our culture
The diverse. Okay.
and the fear of being misunderstood culturally. So, I say that to say, do you want to go find an African American counselor? Yeah, go find an African American therapist. You can have any kind of therapist because therapists are definitely taught, certain techniques and certain things they're supposed to do in order to, basically listen and to kind of give you guidance. But at the same time, African Americans are very afraid of that. They're like, what if they
Yes.
don't understand me? What if that, because we already have the stigma that, the African Americans are crazy. Or the
Yeah.
African Americans, every time something happens, well, it's a race thing or whatever it is. But we have that stigma as it is, having gone through so much as a people.
Mm-hmm.
So we want to be understood correctly, or as correctly as possible, and it's
Right.
just so hard. It's hard enough. The media makes it terrible. The
Yes.
media
Okay.
has portrayed us in such a bad way. That's
Right.
another reason why we won't go to a therapist, because there's that preconceived notion. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So there's so many so many things. And then, like you and Jessica said earlier, we want to just have prayer and solve the problem ourselves. We don't
Exactly.
really recognize that this is something that's above us. And yeah, God can help us, but like Doc said, God is going to help you to take that medicine. Go see a therapist. Seek out a therapist. Find a therapist. Remember, we were talking some weeks back about this issue,
Mm-hmm.
and I was saying how you should go and just have a tune-up done. If you don't,
Right.
you may think nothing is wrong with you, but I
Mm.
promise you, go to a therapist and just talk for 50 minutes, and you will see how much you will get out and how much of a release it is.
Wow. And Lisa, and the thing about it, on our jobs, they offer what is that, EAP?
Yes,
And
yes.
but I never hear, my Black counterpart saying, I'm gonna go, and just, talk with someone at EAP. Never. And I've been working all these years. Do you know I have never used my EAP?
Yes.
That's one thing I'm going to use. I just want to go and sit down, like you said, and fine tune. I just want to go sit down and talk, just talk freely, and just talk, and with an objective ear, and just to see, if they recognize or whatever. Because I keep, and I promise, this is the year of growth for me. I want to know. I want to know. I want to know. And so that fine tuning, and again, we pay for the service and we don't even use it.
Right. And that's another thing I was going to say, as far as affordability. Some people think it costs a lot of money to go to a therapist, but
Mm-hmm.
most people have jobs that offer the EAP, and even some, even your Medicaid, Medicare, they cover therapy. It covers therapy. You just got to do some research and look into it. If you really want to see a therapist, like you said, get out of your own way and look for the growth in yourself, go see a therapist. I recommend
Mm-hmm.
everybody should go see a therapist, even the ones that say, I don't need a therapist. You should go see
Mm-hmm.
a therapist.
They should go sit there
Yes.
because so much that's happening, and a lot of times things are affecting us, and we don't realize it, right? Especially with everything that's going on, in the world now. One of the comments she was saying about us just being stressed out, and we are, because sometimes it's, you hear people say, I just can't fall off and go to sleep at night. Or then you have on the other spectrum, people just, I just sleep. I just sleep, and things of that sort. So we find ways of coping without even knowing what's,
Right.
in our lives, because all of this stuff is affecting some type of way, even if we are praying, even if we are Christians, even if we are, going to church, it's affecting us in some type of way. And we need an outlet. We definitely need an outlet to clear our head,
And
to see, what's
that's
in
the
it.
perfect way to say it, that we need the outlet, because we vent to our friends and our close buddies. We talk to them, but it's nothing like just going to an objective person that knows nothing about you and can give no extra added input on your story. They just sit
Mhm.
there and they listen to what you're saying, and just being objective, draw out from what you're saying and just ask you more questions about it and just build up on it. And you will be very surprised. Very surprised.
Wow.
You come out of there with using about 2-3 boxes of tissue and just feeling a release.
And a good cry is
Yeah,
always good. Tears wash your
it'll
soul.
open you up just like that.
Oh my
Yes,
God, tears are healing. People don't know that. They try to, I don't want to cry, but tears are so very healing, and then too, sometimes you don't know what you have buried within you. You don't know what you're holding on the inside of you as well. And you're sitting down and you're talking with someone, they asking you questions, then all of a sudden, all this stuff start coming up. It start coming up and spilling out.
exactly.
You'd be like, I thought I was over that.
Absolutely.
Or I didn't think that affected me like that.
Absolutely.
Because we can't pray everything away.
Absolutely.
Prayer works. We know that prayer works. Prayer changes things. But
It does.
sometimes
Yes, yes,
God
yes,
put doctors down here. He put doctors here for a reason. He put therapists here for a reason, for us to use them and to use of their service, and everything. So, wow. Oh my God. Any last words, Miss Elisa?
yes. Two things I want to say in regards to what Jessica was saying, just to piggyback on her. The best weight that you, the best weight that you will ever lose is the weight of other people's opinions. So
Mm-hmm.
if you stop listening to people, you can go ahead, get out of your way, and do what you got to do. I admire you for the fact that you said, I want to grow. So I need to get out of my way and ask
Yes.
God, what is it that I need to do to go to the
Yes.
next level? And everybody wants to be so
Yes.
super spiritual about it, but really it's just taking baby steps. Baby
Yes.
steps. And then the last thing I want to say is prioritizing mental health is not a sign of weakness, but an act of strength.
Oh, that's good. Say that again.
Prioritizing mental health is not a sign of weakness, but an act of strength.
Wow. Awesome. That's awesome. Yes. That
Yep.
is
So
good.
I admonish people to go and find a therapist and just go and talk. You don't
Mhm.
have to. You don't really have to have. You don't have to have a big diagnosis. Sometimes it's necessary, like Jessica said, with the bipolar, the depression. Sometimes you have to go for those things, but sometimes there are other times you can just go, just because you just need a release. But
Right.
it's to me, it's very, very refreshing. Very
Right.
refreshing.
And like I said, when you said just go and fine tune, I want to try that. I want to just go sit down and just talk, just let somebody fine tune me. I'm telling you, just fine tune me, find out what's what, what's what. Because sometimes we don't know everything, like Dr. Smith said, you don't know yourself, you don't know everything about yourself, and you need to do that fine tuning, and so I'm definitely going to get fine tuned. I don't want to hear no prophetic word, which is good. Prayer is good. All of it's good. But I want to just go and sit down and be fine tuned,
Mhm.
hmm A mental health tune up. I like that, Phyllis. A mental health tune up. I think we all need a mental health tune up. Well,
Yes,
and I'm
it'll
laughing,
actually do you good. We
but
do.
right. With everything that's been going on, our former president, all this violence, all the murder, everything that we've seen, we all need a mental health tune up. We need one, to
We
grow and
do.
to get
We really
by
do. We do.
and just to exhale. I don't think we all have just exhaled of everything that's going on. It's a lot. It's a lot, and we just still going in the routine. Going in the routine. But all these darts and everything are coming at us, and we just
Yeah.
not we need to deal with it a little bit more, and we'll see what's
We
trapped
do.
on the inside of us. This is good stuff. I
We
want
do.
Jessica to come back. We all gonna talk about this. Hey, Jessica,
Hey, girl.
move over something. We can't see you. There you go. Woo, woo. All right.
I got
All right. Man, you know what? This is really, really good stuff. This is some good stuff. I appreciate the both of you all. I really do, because if we're gonna grow again, we got to take a real look at ourselves. We have to be authentic, you know. And you're right, Phyllis. We're living in stressful times. These are stressful times. Even, you know, we have an outlet of prayer. You know, we have an outlet of, you know, just going to church and things. But what about those who don't have an outlet of prayer?
Right.
We have that. We have that, and we still have some stress. You know, even if God gives us peace in the midst of a troubled
That's
time,
true.
still need to do what we need to do. You know, this is outstanding, ladies.
Yeah.
Outstanding. I love this information. Lisa, if someone wants to consult with you or talk with you, can they use your information to contact you?
Yes, it was on the screen.
Yeah.
And I'll put it back up, but you can always email me at that address, and yeah, we can
Okay.
talk more about it. And I don't have all the answers. I don't know everything. I do know of a couple of resources that I can give out to people to go to this company or try this company. These days, because we're in a pandemic, a lot of counseling is done like this, face to face,
Yes.
online. A lot is done on the phone. So that should make you even feel a little bit more relieved, because you don't have to go to their office and sit in their face and talk, because people will, you know, they feel a little weird about doing that. But if you Zoom in and talk to your therapist or talk to them on the phone, you can still get that release, because they're just it's almost like they know the right questions to answer, to ask, to make you go ahead and, well, we're taught it in school to
Hmm.
say certain things, you know, to just make you open up. And it really does. I'll never forget the first time I ever went to a therapist, because I was one of those people that I don't believe I had to go to a therapist.
Hmm.
But my instructor said, if you're going to go through this program, you have to have a therapist. So she made us go, you know, find our therapist and go to our therapist. And the first time I went, I I felt like I never cried so much in my life. And I went in there like, there's
Wow.
nothing wrong with me. I'm just coming in here to talk to you about whatever. But she knew what to ask to make me just flood it all out.
Yeah.
It was great. It
Wow.
was great.
Wow. Awesome. Awesome. Jessica, you have any final words?
I love what Sister Lisa said about, you know, prioritizing your mental health is not a weakness but a strength. And that is so true
Hmm.
because, you know, like I said, when you hear that word mental health, you hear, you know, any type of mental illness, you automatically think, oh, I'm crazy, or you get ashamed and you're like, well, you know. And I also like what she said about how um, mental health is a scar, you know, a mental scar. You know, I love that too. And all of those things are so true.
Wow.
And that's exactly how you feel, you know, battling a mental illness. And also, it doesn't always have to, you don't always have to have a mental illness to seek out counseling, like you guys said, and to seek a therapist. You know, like we are in trying times as of right now. And it
Hmm.
is good to, you know, talk to somebody, you know, that is not, you know, in your ear every day or not in your everyday circle. It's always good
Right.
to seek out that help when needed. So
Hmm.
everything that, you know, you guys have been talking about, you know, you know, everything, I agree 100% with everything you guys said, and just love it. So you guys took the words out of my mouth, honestly.
You know, and Lisa and Jessica, she was talking about the shame, you know, the shame. And I like how Lisa said how we as you know, African Americans, how we are labeled, you know, especially women, you know, we're labeled as angry Black women, you know, so we have,
Yes,
if we express ourselves, we angry, you know, if our voice go up, we
man.
angry, you know,
If
and so we,
your neck go, you're
your
angry.
neck
Oh,
go, you know, you're angry, you know, and we're not angry women, you know, but they have placed all of these labels on us that we try to act a certain way. Because I don't want you to think that I'm this way or that way, whatever, you know, to our chagrin, well, we don't get the help that we need. Or, you know, as Lisa said, just go and get fine-tuned. I love that. I really, really love that. Just going and sitting down and talking with somebody just to get fine-tuned. You know, that's awesome. But we wear the shame of things, you know, the shame of things always. And And that's what makes us not want to take those steps and move forward, uh, because of the shame of because of people's opinion. Like you say, Jessica, people's opinion do matter, but it doesn't matter to me if you think I'm this way or that way.
Mm.
That doesn't work anymore. So because I'm sorry, I think people opinion has some people arrested. They're like they're in arrested development because of what you think. No, it's no. I have a God. I do have a God that I can, go to, like some say, I can take it to the Lord in prayer. Just ask God about it. I think, did we lose you, Lisa? I think we lost Lisa.
I'm here.
Okay. Okay. So we was just talking about the shame. There's always
Can you hear
a
me?
of things. We can hear you now. Yes. Yeah. It's just a shame of things. But ladies, listen, this has been great. This has been great. I love your transparency, and just sharing, with this platform. So for other people, for other women, and even men, for other people not to be ashamed of what they're going through and things that they, So I thank you both for your transparency. I'm so glad that you all are here. Thank you, thank you, thank you for coming on Motivation Monday and
One more
just
thing.
sharing. Sure.
I'm sorry. And make sure you guys watch my YouTube channel called Jessica Jackson Mental Health Awareness. And I'll be on every other Tuesday. So just check it out. I promise you're gonna love the content on there about mental health.
Wonderful. And can we see her YouTube channel? But she's on YouTube. It's very uplifting. I really, really enjoyed it. I was like, wow. It's almost like when you're writing a book and you putting your story in a book.
Mm,
And when you pick your books up from the publisher, it's like, oh God, everybody's gonna read my story. Dating with bipolar disorder. Wow. That's awesome. Thank you, Anwar. That's awesome. The other thing that I was going to ask you too about, I'm glad he put it up there before we leave, gaslighting. Gaslighting. That that is, yeah, that gaslighting is something else.
it's real. It's scary real, and,
Yeah.
and it hit me like a ton of bricks
Hmm.
last month. Like
Okay.
and wow, yeah.
And gaslight is when people try to make you question your reality. They try to make you question your reality. And it was a movie some years ago where this man was gaslighting this lady, making her think that she was crazy. But it's being used right now, in this 21st century. People gaslight you, making you think that's not what really happened. No, 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 no. That's not what I said. Oh no, what do you mean? Gaslighting, and that mess with you mentally because you start questioning your own self, like, maybe I did do that. And then something had to snap. No, you did not do that. But that gaslighting is very harmful mentally, you know?
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely,
Mm-hmm.
it is. I have a whole
Wow.
video on it. You guys want to watch on my channel.
Oh yeah. I love looking up gaslighting and all of that because learning about it, just that whole narcissistic piece. Gaslighting will come with the narcissistic piece, and you'd be like, really? I never heard of this stuff before, but it's out here.
Yes.
And
Yes.
it behooves us to become to inform ourselves, to inform ourselves of these different things. Gaslighting is so common these days. Yes, it is,
Yes, it
Reba.
is.
People
Yes,
will
it is.
gaslight you in a minute. You be thinking like,
Hot second. You be like,
you
really?
know, you be like, what? Did
Maybe
I
I
do
did
that?
do that. Maybe.
Right. You have to ask people, am I really? They be like, girl, no, but that gaslighting is
Yes.
true. Yes, yes, that gaslighting is true. And that's mental as well, weigh on you mentally too. So you got to be careful of all of that. Thank you, ladies, so much. I appreciate both of you all
You.
being here on Motivational Monday and stuff.
Thank you.
This was
Thank
awesome.
you.
Thank you. Yeah, this was awesome.
Thank
Man, it
you.
was enough information for all of us to take with us to, again, like you say, Lisa, if we just go and be fine tuned, just get a tune up,
Love it.
get a tune up mentally, you know, and stuff, and just sit down and talk it about it. Just talk it out, you know. So thank you all again. I appreciate you all being here.
You will feel a whole lot better. Yes.
Yes, yes. But they said when you set boundaries, okay, okay, there's
Yes.
a season and a season. Yep, Ruth,
Yes, Ruth, you are so right.
you're so right.
Yes,
Yes.
you are.
It's amazing. It is so amazing. Thank you all so much. I appreciate the both of you all hang out in the back room for a minute and stuff. And we're going to talk some more. But I appreciate you all for being here. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you so
And
much.
yes, yes, this was wonderful.
Thank you.
Wonderful.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Anwar, thank you for Motivational Monday. This topic was, wow, I know it was kind of heavy. Something that is so much needed in our community. Just, I wanted to hear more. I spend time with Lisa Camille every Saturday in a book club, and actually we're reading a book by Owen O'Kane. It's called 10 Times Happier. And he is a therapist, and a lot of things that he says in the book are really, really helpful to us. Just reading, you know, he's sharing his perspective on 10 Times Happier, but he's also putting his profession, his therapist studies, you know, learning. He put that in there, and so we're growing. Let me tell you something, people. This is the year of growth. This is it. This is the year of growth. This is the year where God needs us to start taking some steps. Taking some steps. There's some things that God has given us all to do. And he wants us to get up and do those things. And if you need assistance with those things, that's okay too. But this is the year. This is the year to get busy, to get moving, the year of growth. Listen, we're going to put the information back up for you all again. If you want to reach out to Lisa Camille Jackson, I have sat and talked, so knowledgeable. She has helped through a trying time and has brought me to this place. I tell you, her and others was very, very instrumental in just me getting back on track. And I can say that. So her information is there. Lisa Camille Jackson, you can reach to her. Jessica Jackson has a YouTube broadcast that she does every Tuesday, you know, dating with bipolar, raising children being bipolar, all of that. Very, very good content. Check these ladies out. Thank you all again for being a part of Motivational Mondays. Share this even after we go off the air, off the broadcast. Share it so someone else can enjoy it. I appreciate your support. I thank you all so much. This is Barbara Elsie, and I'll see you guys again on next Monday for Motivational Monday. Good night.